again. Welcome back to my channel, Califoodie Dreamin. I'm Ashley.
I'm Daryl.
And what's your name? Peyton. And let's get to eating. Hey y'all, welcome back. As you can see, I have some special guests on my channel because today is a great occasion. It's a great day in history. Yeah, Peyton, It's a great day in history. So happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So today is our Dr. King special, and we have fried chicken that I made myself in the air fryer. We have some plantains that I made myself in the air fryer for the first time. And we have some collard greens. We have sweet and sour sauce for the chicken. And I have just a little bit of Beloved Smackalicious sauce left over for the chicken. And in my blessed cup, I have iced tea. What do you have, babe?
Iced tea.
Iced tea? Oh, I have iced tea and lemonade. And Peyton has iced tea and lemonade. So we ready for chicken? Chicken, yes. Yes. All right, chicken.
Piece right here.
Okay.
Piece. You want a piece of chicken?
Yeah. All right, pull it apart for her. All right, y'all. So let's say grace, and then we're gonna start eating. Daddy, you want to say grace? Okay.
There you go. God, we just thank you for this opportunity to reflect on Dr. King's life. Thank you for this food we're about to receive. Let it be nourishing to our bodies and Peyton eat. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Yeah,
say amen.
chicken.
All right. All right, y'all. So I'm so excited today to do this special. I have Peyton here. Let's dig in. Let's start eating first a little bit, and then we're gonna talk about Dr. King.
Bite.
Y'all know I said Peyton loves to eat, but y'all, it is like past her bedtime.
Way past her bedtime.
Like an hour past her bedtime, so she is starting to
cut the fool.
She's starting to act up a little bit, but she's all right.
Please,
babe, how you like the chicken?
This chicken's all right. It's panko chicken. You gonna tell people how you made it? Breadcrumbs? Instead of just, you said fried, but
I did it differently. I did use flour too, but I did it differently. But with my plantain, no, this is not about recipe.
Come on.
With my plantains, if they are good and I mastered it, then I'm gonna drop the recipe.
And if it's nasty, you just gonna say I'll try again?
No, I'm just gonna master it and then I'll share the recipe.
Oh. I'm sure they alright. They don't look burnt. This should be alright. Bite.
The chicken's good.
Crunchy.
Well, I'm like barely trying to get in the video.
I ain't got no more chicken on mine. It's a bone. Why do you want to take my bone? Here, eat your chicken. It's right here. Eat your chicken. Give me the bone back. You just want to take my food. So bad you want to take my food.
So as y'all know, Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he was born, and I have some facts here because I don't want to screw nothing up.
Please don't. I'm going to have to revoke your black card.
Please. He was born January 15th, so he was actually born on the 15th. 1929.
But he seems so long ago now. Now we're in the 20s.
Yeah, because he was only a few years younger than our grandparents. Yep. So, yeah, because my grandmother was born in 1923, and I think yours was born in, what, 24? Yeah. Or our grandmothers, rather. But of course, He's a civil rights leader. Dr. King, Dr. King, Dr. King was a civil rights leader. Dr. King, Dr. King, he had a dream.
P, you know that song, P?
I don't know that song.
Oh, I was about to say, she done learned something I didn't even know.
But we used to sing that in school. But of course y'all know him for the March on Washington, where he delivered his famous speech, "I have a dream." That's what he's known for.
Among other things.
I mean, amongst other things,
Yeah.
but that's his most popular speech.
The most well-known speech.
Yeah.
Vegetables, yeah, you need to eat your vegetables.
Greens?
And she loves some vegetables. That's one thing she does like to eat.
Good girl, baby. Is it hot?
No.
It's not hot.
It's not hot. It's a fat wing. Look at this
Yeah,
thing.
Daryl went and bought some fat.
I ain't getting no wingettes today.
Greens?
I got the real
Chicken?
deal. This
You want
chicken look like he was on steroids. Here, I got you right here. No, they said no steroids on the package.
All right.
But man, look at that.
Paytime. Oh, so did you want to say anything about Dr. King?
You were
What
good.
do you know him most for? I mean, besides
Being a civil rights activist, person standing up for change. Really, for me, willing to put in the work, knowing that you may not even see the fruit of everything that you're going to do. It was really like some of the stuff he did was like, you know what, I'm a suffer, but the generations after me would be better off because of it. And so, I know he has the speech and he did the march and was down in Selma and did all that stuff, but I really admire that he was willing to do something that was bigger and greater than himself, and he wouldn't see a lot of it. And I think a lot of people, we don't live like that much anymore.
That's Bible right there.
Yeah, we don't live a lot like, we live like what we want to see now or what we can impact. But to say I'm a sacrifice and the fruit won't come 30 to 50 years later, I don't see a lot of people talking like that or thinking like that. So, I mean, that's something I always admire about Dr. King.
One thing I really admire is that, here, let me get my another drum, was that he fought with peace and love. He had a non-violence, he was about non-violence, and not every leader is about non-violence. Especially back then, they were ready to, riot and do all these things, and he was all about peace.
Yeah, there was a time for some action, though. I mean, you had to act, but he was one that was definitely saying we can get more with peace than violence. So that was
which for me, one of my favorite sayings from him was, and now I want to get this wrong. Let me see. One of my favorite sayings from him was, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. So, he was the epitome of that. Yes, baby. What are you doing?
You want some of that?
You want chicken? We gotta eat more greens. Skip, did you taste my plantains?
No, I'm still working on this thick chicken. I still need to eat some greens too. It's still hot. Look at that steam. What you put it on? 1,000? Gee whiz.
That hot.
That's gonna burn my mouth.
Blow it. Do you have any? Maybe I'll let you eat your greens. Do you have any favorite sayings from him, or?
Drop some greens. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't want to mess it up either, so hold on a second. I got a couple I want to touch on today.
Oh, okay.
I think for like today's day and time, this is something we need to think. He said we must learn to live together as brothers, or we'll perish together as fools. And this thing about unity, there's so much division in the world today. And I think that if we continue to divide and fight each other, we will end up losing a battle on both sides. So it's important that we start to band together. Now, do we be best friends? Absolutely not. You know, will we always agree on everything? Absolutely not. But I think it would be a much better world if we learn to unite or come together more than we don't. And I think that's something all of us from every race and socioeconomic class and country can say, you know what, we all could learn like that. Now, I'm in education, and I think we teach that in like elementary and kindergarten, and then we forget it when we become adults. And it's like, if we can go back to that, I think the world will be a better place.
And I think we need to really remember that now, especially, you know, with the division in our country right now, that we might not agree on so many things in different, you know, the different parties and political parties and stuff. But you know, even though we don't agree, we still don't have to like bash each other and hate each other. And
it's about having respect.
Yeah.
And you know what? Respectfully disagree. And then we need to be able to do that. Something else he said, we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. And I think hope is huge. I think a lot of times we get setbacks and then we give up hope. And just because it happened one time, not the way we thought, or we had a setback or disappointment, it doesn't mean everything we're going to do is going to be like that. And I think we have to keep hoping and keep, you know, our vision casted forward and keep trying. And a lot of times some people fail, and then they finally hit that success that broke them open. But where if they stopped that first time, that finite disappointment, and gave up that hope, they would never become what they were supposed to. So I think that's another thing that we're like, oh, things will never change. Let's keep hoping for it. Let's keep acting towards it. You know, it's not going to work in my favor. Keep hoping for it. Keep moving towards it. And eventually see how the cookie crumbles. And most times it starts to come together. It may not be like your first plan or your first vision, but things do come together as long as you keep moving in the right direction.
Right.
So that was Dr. King, like years ago, dropping gems and knowledge that we still could be using today. Yeah, that's chicken, P.
Chicken, way ahead of his time, because he passed, or no, he was murdered when he was 39. So
that's crazy. Another year, I'll be the same age. That's crazy to me.
You want to give her a drum?
To be that young.
Yeah, and
he's
done so much
in that little bit of time.
Yes.
Make me like, what more am I doing? You need to get my life together. But even people, if you like the biography and stories and people that give accounts, said like he lived his life on a mission as if he knew he didn't have much time. You know, it was like he knew, I gotta do, because, you know, he wasn't gonna be here forever.
Right.
And that urgency, that's another thing I think we can take from his life, is live on purpose, for a purpose, you know, and not just say, oh, I'm just going through life, or I'm just going through my day. Like, intentionally do some things, because no one knows how long we'll be here. But we want to make sure we impact the world while we are here. So, again, another life lesson, not necessarily a quote or speech, but how he lived his life. You just tearing chicken apart. Let's eat. Bite. Boy, man, your hands so greasy. We're going to throw you in the tub.
Let me have her try. See if she would want the plantain. Want plantain? You gonna bite potato? You said
No?
Hey, you got a mouthful. You didn't even.
Shit, I'm all about this chicken right now, Mom. Nope.
I like. Okay, thank you, baby. I like plantains when they are, you know, in like that. They kind of like in a liquidy. Like they have a
Some
little
type
bit
of
more
sauce or
liquid.
something?
Yeah, a little bit more sauce
Little
on them.
juicy.
Yeah. But they're good though. And they're sweet. Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tea. You got some right there.
Here you go. Yeah, tea. Say.
She just looking at herself in the camera, y'all. She is so funny. Babe, did you try the chicken and the sweet and sour?
Yeah, I've been eating it the whole time.
You want to try it in the beloved sauce?
No, I'm alright. I'll just stick right here.
Okay.
Here's a question I got. Do you think you'll ever see in your lifetime someone like Dr. King?
Oh my gosh.
Just not, and it don't even really have to be, it doesn't even have to be like America. I think a lot of times things stuck in America.
Right.
But like someone to rise up like that anywhere in the world where people are oppressed and dealing with inequality, you would think we'll see a figure like that in our lifetime.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's hard to think that we might. I mean, but we may. But I would hope.
And it's so crazy. I mean,
If the issues are that strong, I will hope.
I would think that
people
there would
will rise
never
up.
be another Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But sometimes it seems like we are going backwards. Especially with some of the things that are going on right now. It seems like we're going backwards with, young black men and even women, Sandra Bland, these people getting killed, innocent people getting killed. And just for the color of their skin, or it seems like we're going backwards. And then it kind of opens up your eyes that maybe some people or some things haven't changed. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know who would do that. I don't know who would be that person.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if the situation needed, I'm sure someone would rise to the occasion. But we'll see. Time will tell.
I think sometimes people are scared to, like it has to be a group of people. Like, we really have to band together to do things like that, because even as I was reading about Dr. King, and it's been rumored for several years since his death that when he was murdered in Tennessee, that it was like the man who murdered him was framed, and they were saying framed by the government, like he did it for the government, and I sometimes feel like he was so powerful that they did kill him. They did want to stop him, just like a lot of other civil rights leaders, which we'll probably cover in February, which I'll probably cover in February. But
here, let's wipe your hands.
yes, baby.
Let's wipe your hands.
But a lot of other leaders and people who changed history for us and changed our future, they were murdered because they wanted equality, and they were doing what, being brave.
Yeah, but I think it's also key to remember, like, we like to highlight King because he was the focal man, but he didn't do it alone. Like,
Right.
he had teams of people, and other activists rose up in that time. He got a lot of limelight as we look back on history, but he would have said, if he was here today, I'm sure he didn't do it alone. Like,
and he definitely didn't do it alone.
Yeah.
Especially one of my favorite presidents, which is one of my favorites, but I wasn't here to see him. Like, I wasn't living at the time, but JFK, he had a big part of it too, because he was riding with King. He done got him out of jail a couple times.
Yeah, so I would say, even though history, we look at highlights and not seeing all the minutia and the, things that happened that didn't get the press.
That's spicy, baby.
It's not just about one person. It's about like you said, the unity or people coming together
Mm-hmm.
and working towards a common cause.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Spicy.
She said it's spicy.
Yeah, so.
Did you try plantain?
It was alright. Like you said, I like it a little juicier. That was a little dried out.
Yeah, because they're probably more like plantain chips when you do them in the air fryer.
Which is cool. That's a different taste. I was expecting the softer.
Yeah, but
juicier.
they're still sweet.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing why I think, and it's just my little soapbox, if you let me get on it for a second.
Okay.
Just when it comes to like history, I'm in high school. I was not a history buff. I was not like, oh my gosh, history. That was one of the more boring classes, just because I wasn't into it. Then I got older and realized, you have to understand or know what happened in the past. And when I worked with some young people back east, I remember it was like Martin Luther King Day, and we were talking about it, and they were like, and this is some of the hardcore kids I was working with. They were like, "What's he got to do with me? I mean, that happened years ago. What has he done for me?" And I was like, the how far we've been removed from the impact, and when the stories don't get passed down, people raise up and have their own opinions or their thoughts, and it's like they forget. And when we forget, we're bound to be repeating history. So I think it's, again, we just, not just Dr. King or Malcolm X or Harry, all the ones that everyone knows, but I think it's just important to share history and the lessons learned so that we don't repeat it and that we don't have ignorance as generation after generation comes up. Because that really shook me, and I was just like, wow, some people really sit like, that don't mean nothing. Who was he? And I was like, so if they said it about him, how would they be thinking about so many other people that have impacted history or paved the way for us to live the way we do today?
Yes.
So I think it's important that we not just remember these things once a year, but just make it a regular occurrence to talk about the past and what lessons we can learn, not just from them, but even our own life.
Right.
Reflecting back as we continue to move forward.
Yes, please pass it on to your children. It don't matter what color you are, if you are white, black, yellow, purple, or green. Black history.
Who green out here?
You never know now, Black history and history, it has to do with every race, regardless of whether it's boring or not. It is your history. It is our history. It's America's history. And other countries' history too, because all of our ancestors aren't from here. But so please teach your children history and don't be ignorant. Is that it?
What's up? What you see over there?
We're still eating. Do you have anything to say? Did you learn anything about Dr. King?
Oh no!
She ain't say oh no. Say,
yeah. Oh, no.
Say Dr. King. Say King. Say King.
Say chicken. Yeah.
No, you better say King.
She said chicken. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces left. We try another plantain before we sign off.
Okay. I barely ate any greens. I should have gave some more to
Not
Peyton.
bad. Not bad. But like you say, it's more like a plantain chip.
Mm-hmm. They still kind of soft. They just let mommy blow.
Uh-oh. Bite. Bite.
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Nobody does.
Good job.
Good job, Peyton. I'm gonna give you some more greens.
All right.
All right, y'all. So I think that's it. Happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hopefully you celebrate and teach your children or talk about him because he was a big part of history. He is a big part of history. But real quick, do y'all learn about Dr. King in y'all's school?
Mm-hmm.
That's not personal for me to ask.
Okay. I think every school talks about that because it's a national holiday.
Okay. So what day do y'all talk about it? I mean, like,
some people talk about it before this holiday. Some people may talk about like the day we come back.
So the kids know why they have the day off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just like any other holiday. There's like, especially elementary, they try to teach around like why we have the day off. At least the schools that I've been a part of, even if it's not like full blown like all the time stuff. When it's around holidays like this, they have a lesson. They'll make mention of it so that the kids can know.
Okay.
How deep that goes. I mean, it varies. I've really done elementary a lot, so middle school, high school may do a little bit more different.
Mm-hmm.
But you talk about the impact it had, the change. There's a lot of age-appropriate lessons, videos, activities that I've seen, and it's good that they do those.
Okay.
I mean, not just it's King's Day, but they do it for Hispanic Heritage Month and Native Americans and all that type of stuff. So it's good to see that when I'm in the school setting.
Get some grins. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, I know one thing. Coming up in high school, and this is my last thing. I don't know if we had the right history in our books. I mean, we didn't have a lot of Black history in our history books, but in our biology class, we learned a lot about history.
Biology or chemistry?
In my biology class. Did you learn about it in chemistry?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we must have had the same teacher.
I mean,
but so that's it. But y'all, that is it. Happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Celebrate, remember him.
remember you, sir.
Yes. And we love you. We thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe and become a part of the fam. Hit that notification bell. And we will see you on the next one. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.